Hi Ultimate Gardeners, welcome back to the Ultimate Gardening channel. My name is Emmanuel Arce, well known as the Ultimate Gardener. In today's exciting sprouting video, I would like to go over 5 different mistakes gardeners do when it comes to plant propagation. Plant propagation is one of my favorite things to do in the garden because you can multiply your favorite plants for free, and who doesn't love plants? I know I do. And so propagation is not one of the easiest methods to do, but once you get educated and you know the differences between the do's and the don'ts, you become a pro at it, and it's easy to propagate everything. I know I'm not a full 100% propagator like professional, but I do know the things you should and shouldn't do when it comes to plant propagation. And so today we're going to cover those 5 mistakes gardeners do and how to correct them. So if you want to know all these mistakes gardeners do to see if you do it and how to correct it, please stay tuned with us. So Ultimate Gardeners, coming in number 1, which is a common mistake a lot of gardeners do when it comes to plant propagation, is over-watering. I know it could be very hard to see these poor babies wilt when it comes to the summer heat, but you have to hold off because even though they're stems in soil, it doesn't mean that they need over excessive watering. Over excessive watering can cause the cutting to get some type of fungus disease, or it could cause the stem to potentially not even create roots and die. And it could cause the stem to rot if you end up overwatering. Here's 2 early signs to know you're overwatering. Number 1, you see no leafy growth at all. Once it comes to leafy growth, you know you're doing a good job once you see leafy growth, but once you don't see leafy growth, that means you did something wrong, and most commonly it's because you overwatered. Number 2 is you start seeing the base of the stem start turning brown or black. That means that you overwatered and it's starting to rot. And so don't overwater, just water 1 time every single day, and you will see that you will go ahead and improve in your propagating skills. So let's go ahead and move on to number 2. So Ultimate Gardeners, coming in number 2 is sunlight exposure. Gardeners struggle to see, okay, this plant requires full sun, but as a cutting, does it need full sun? The answer to that is no. It's strictly no. When it comes to cuttings, they're technically fresh stems in the soil without no roots, and any type of heat or any type of extreme weather could cause those babies to die instantly. So you want to treat them like a baby and put them in a full shaded location. It doesn't matter if that main plant requires full sun, you got to do what you got to do to keep those cuttings alive. And so you got to put them in a full sun location until root formation starts to grow on them. And once you see root formation, then you can slowly introduce them to the sunlight. Other than that, full shade is required whatsoever. So let's go ahead and move on to number 3. So Ultimate Gardeners, coming in number 3 is what type of stem to cut. When it comes to shrubs and annuals, there's a lot of different stems you could cut, either fresh growth, tender growth, or hardwoody stems. When it comes to shrubs like hibiscus, Rosa Sharon's, hardy hibiscus, doesn't matter what type of shrub it is, you want to get a cutting with a hard-wooded cutting, because what that does is that specializes in keeping the plant stronger and stabilized. And when it comes to annuals, because like they're a seasonal thing, it doesn't matter what part of the stem you should get, because anyway how it should grow and do amazing for you guys. But when it comes to shrubs and evergreens, you want to get woody stems because the levels of being propagated is way higher once you have a woody stem. So let's go ahead and move on to number 4. So Ultimate Gardeners, coming on number 4 is fertilizing. This shouldn't even be a topic we're talking about because fertilizing is too much for cuttings. Even though you go in the grocery store, you walk into flowers, there's stems and water, you give them food, but those are cut flowers. They're specialized in another thing. When it comes to cuttings, you want root formation. You don't want to feed them fertilizer, because fertilizer is for established plants or newly planted plants, because they can handle the nutrients and the proteins coming into them. But when it comes to cuttings, they cannot handle that overpowering fertilizer because they got no roots and they only get water. And so you gotta wait until that root formation starts to kick in, and then you can give them a fertilizer. But I would recommend some type of organic fertilizer, but liquid form, not granule, but liquid form, so it could activate and feed them automatically. So let's go ahead and move on to the last and final point, number 5. So ultimate gardeners, coming at number 5 is when to plant your newly rooted cuttings. So I know you're super eager to plant your newly rooted plant out in the garden, but sometimes it's best to be patient because you don't want to risk your plant dying. So how should you know when to plant your cutting out into the garden? So first and main important key to look at is root formation. If you can see a circular movement on the roots, sort of like it's starting to be root bounded, that's when you know they're ready to be planted out in the garden. But if you see very little roots pop out, and if you could easily take out the cutting, then that means it's not ready to be planted out in the garden. Because a lot of mistakes gardeners do is they seek roots and they plant it out in the garden. But these are babies. They can't handle extreme weather just yet because they're not used to being the small little baby with little tiny tender roots. And so you don't want to expose them to high levels of heat or rain or climate change. Doesn't matter what they get exposed to, any little drastic change could cause them to die. So you want to wait until you start seeing that circular motion, and then you can go ahead and plant them out. And so that's it technically for the details on your cuttings and 5 mistakes gardeners do. So let me go ahead and wrap up this video for you guys. So ultimate gardeners, that's going to be it for this exciting spawning video. I'm super thrilled to help you guys learn more about plant propagation, and hopefully you guys start doing it because it's very fun to do because you're experimenting in the garden and you're seeing what could grow best in your area. So hopefully you guys find this video informative and educational, and hopefully you find a thing or two on what you did wrong and correct it. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to support my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notified when a new exciting spawning video comes out, just like this one, make sure to hit that bell notification button so you get notified when a new exciting spawning video comes out. Thank you all so much for watching, and never forget to grow big, ultimate gardeners. Bye guys.